on the Committee of Cohesion and Equal Opportunities and Regional Integration. My views are completely unorthodox. I don't believe that I support the report of the committee in its entirety. I've listened to my colleagues contribute, and I'm baffled because I wonder, when my colleagues say that county government must comply, that they must develop other alternative, other means of advertising for jobs so that PWDs can be able to come and work there, so that other ethnic groups can be able to go and work in other counties. The question is, why would a county government develop this new technique of calling people from other counties to come and work in that county, yet the people in that county are jobless? Mr. Speaker, let us not kid ourselves. You know, we are too quick. And I know this came out of the State of the Nation address. But let us be factual. Today, our county governments are not providing job opportunities for citizens of those counties. They are not providing procurement opportunities for citizens of those counties. What I expected this committee would do is to develop a mechanism in which county governments can ensure that 100% of all the development contracts, of all the jobs that the county governments advertise, are serviced by the people from those counties, by the youth from those counties. And where the youth do not have the qualifications to be able to build roads, those county governments should come up with trainings to be able to make sure that they absorb the youth from those counties. Madam Speaker, I'm tired of this rural-urban migration. In Nairobi, you will see a lot of the Luhya nation, Madam Speaker, if I can just take as an example. You will see even the Maasai is also now coming to Nairobi, although Nairobi was ours, and it was taken away from us. But we come here, we look for jobs to become watchmen. Both the Luhya nation and the Maasais are looking for jobs here in Nairobi to become watchmen. And then you come up with this thing that doesn't even consider the situation in our counties, and you tell us that where we have highly qualified young Maasai men and women who cannot be employed elsewhere, that we cannot employ them in our counties because we've hit the threshold of 70%. Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ. If we have Luhyas in Kakamega who are fully educated and can be able to occupy 100% of jobs in that county because they are the predominant community in that county, absorb them. And I'm not saying that we should not promote regional integration. We must. But can we first of all consider the people who are there? Where do you think they'll go and get jobs? If you now chase a young Luo boy from Kisumu and say, go to Nairobi or go to Maasai Land and look for a job, and he's educated, he's got a PhD, but he cannot be employed there because of such policies. Sometimes these policies are retrogressive. Let us encourage. What I expected this committee to come up with, Mr. Speaker, are innovative measures of ensuring that we absorb everyone who is educated, qualified, Madam Speaker, in the counties that they live in. When you talk about devolution, Raila Odinga promoted this, really fought for devolution. I think what he had in mind was a nation that will be able to one day, if you are born in Narok, you live in Narok, you can work in Narok, you get married in Narok, you are buried in Narok, and you live in Narok, you go on holiday in Narok. It will be a county that will be able to accommodate everything. But not a county that you are born there, all you know is how to speak your mother tongue. But now I hear my colleague, Senator Chergey, saying that, oh, in Homa Bay, the county governor can carry out a session in a vernacular language. So what? It is our language. Why do we always forget about these issues of being truly African? Me, I'm advocating for the time now where even if the best way we can be able to fight corruption is by Maasais and Kalenjin both speaking the same languages in the assemblies where there are those two communities exist, like in Narok County, the most predominant community is a Maasai. That is where I was born. But of course, we also have our brothers, the Kalenjin. If we can speak both of those languages and even carry out parliament session in those two languages, what's the big deal? Maybe that might sink in deeper so that we protect our interests. So, Madam Speaker, I don't support the recommendation by this committee. I want us to find innovative measures of taking care of everyone. Don't discriminate against me because you've hit a mark of 70%. That now you cannot employ me because I'm Maasai and that Narok County has already hit 70%. No! Create jobs opportunities for me. Give me those jobs. The only thing that I probably would support this committee, Madam Speaker, and I was speaking to my good friend from Lamu, is that when it comes to the members of the PWD, the first thing that actually each county needs to do is to make sure that they have carried out a statistic and to know how many people are disabled who live in that county. And enable them to form companies, give them trainings, ask them what they are capable of doing. If it is to build roads, support them in building roads. If it is working in industries, support them in getting the training necessary. Then, by default, that 5% can even be increased to 10% because we are able. Those are enable. Let's enable them so that they can also be able to have equal opportunities. Let's define the term equality to truly means enabling someone who does not have any other means to be able to survive and be equal like any other person who's got two legs. Madam Speaker, the thematic area, number one, on which the committee embarked on, which is the demographic composition of all employees of the county government in terms of gender, persons with disability, age, and ethnicity, is the only thing which I think we need to move further on to see that we have more women. In fact, we should have 50-50. In any county government, we should have 50% women working there, 50% men working there. That is the only thematic area that I think the recommendation by this committee are worth being discussed, Madam Speaker. But when it comes to the issue of tribal lines that you cannot now employ a Luo child to work in Kisumu because you've hit 70%, that is ridiculous. That is retrogressive. The second thematic area, the democratic composition of county executive committee members and chief officers in terms of gender, persons with disability, age, and ethnicity. I only support up to that section of age, not ethnicity. Because I will give you a good example. If you go to Narok County, we have 30 wards. In those 30 wards, by default, Madam Speaker, we have around 26 wards or 27 wards that in most cases, maybe one ethnic community will be able to dominate, and someone is elected there as a member of the county assembly. Now, when it comes to appointing someone as a CC, if you do not, you should first of all consider those two communities. In Narok, it is mostly the Maasais and the Kalenjins. And then when you come to the cosmopolitan area treated differently. Narok Town treated differently. Narok Town, we have every ethnic group. We have the Kambas, Kikuyus, Luyas, Luos, Maasais, everyone. Now, those ones, give them an opportunity so that they can also be able to represent their interests. Now, if you tell me that you are going to appoint a CC who is going to deal with agriculture, and that CC who is dealing with agriculture lives in Narok Town, what form of agriculture does that person know? Just because you want to fit these recommendations which are set by the National Cohesion. Madam Speaker, today my views are completely unorthodox because other communities, like the Maasais, we've been discriminated upon, extreme measures, stigmatized for so long. It is now time for us also to demand our share. If you go to Kajiado County, Madam Speaker, this week we are talking about, in Kajiado County, we are talking about having the Maa Cultural Week. But guess what? Even during that week, those ones who will be given contracts to be able to provide tents, to be able to provide advertisement services are not people from that county. Then how are you supporting that economy? Madam Speaker, support an economy by building the citizens of that economy. Give them, do a current audit, say the person who was given a contract for advertisement are all from Narok, Kajiado, and Samburu, because it is about them. But now you'll find that maybe the big tents will be owned by somebody in Nairobi, a good friend of my sister, Karen Nyamu. And then comes in, get the tender to provide the tents. Today I know your name. So let us not continue lying here about this issue of integration. And we don't. Okay? We don't. Look at Nairobi as an example, Madam Speaker. I'll tell you. Nairobi is mwenye nguvu nipishe. In Nairobi, Madam Speaker, it depends on who has the ability.
What's your point of order, Senator Nyamu?
My point of order is under section, the Standing Order 41. We are just 2 senators in the House. We don't have quorum. Tit for tat.
Can the Secretariat confirm whether we have quorum? We don't have quorum. Can Sergeant Atam ring the bells for 10 minutes?